Welcome back to the channel, guys. As I once commented or I mentioned it, I would make one video only in my machines or my coil machines, which I have for collected over the years. So I've been working with them for several years, for most part of my career. And yeah, of course, as you work, you collect them, you enjoy them, you exchange with your colleagues, your friends, and it becomes something very, very interesting. And over the years, I've been enjoying so much collecting machines. Sometimes I exchange them, I sold them, I give back, get back, and so on and so on and so on. And nowadays, I exchange to full rotary, as you guys know. I've been working for the rotary with the pen more precisely for the past, say, 2 years right now. I think I could say. I don't know exactly how long. I've been working a little bit with hybrids, which means is a rotary machine which has is like it has a motor inside, so it works as a rotary. But the heating or the way they heat the skin or the way it works on the skin is like a coil. It's a mix between this and, let me see, actually any of these guys here and this. Basically, they blend them together. Some clever dude did that at first, and it became something really, really cool, very interesting. Still have a bit of the sound of this guy with the consistency of this guy here together, and it's really work. I have a few machines now. I even have the pleasure to have the number one of the, not the number one machine, but the one. Basically, when this dude here, his name is a very well-known tattoo machine builder in America, in USA, his name is Dan Gubin, and he had first he started with this coil machine here, which you guys already kind of familiar with. I showed you in previous videos, which has a little bit of a different back. I mean, the amateur bar is pretty solid. This is the same as a normal coil machine here, and has the normal coil machine is the coil machine ancient ones. Let's put it that. It starts on 40s, 50s to be more precise. The exact date I don't really recall right now, but it's around about the 50s. They started with the coil machines precisely to build them, to the evolution of coil machines. So you have this spring here, which is screwed to the chassis and screwed to the armature bar, which works with these two coils here. And this little piece here is a very important piece because giving tension to the front spring, which makes the whole swing or the given, all right, which we call the given on for the machine. This dude here, he actually just jumped the principle of it. He has still the coils, and as the other one, as you can see, is pretty much the same. The frame is sort of the same too, but then here comes to the contact spring. The contact here is the same. The spring here and this one here, that's the funny part of it. It's pretty interesting because you have here you see is bolded on the top of the armature bar and goes to the contact screw here. And this one here, he actually made a little concave place in it. So they basically, the spring goes in the armature bar and is screwed there. And instead to have the spring, the rear spring, which was the machine we're using? Yeah, that one. This part here, he skipped that. He just jumped that part off and screwed the armature bar directly on the chassis itself. But the detail in this machine is that, so how he could get the spring, the armature bar stay backwards, forcing against the contact screw, which that is what this little guy here does on the traditional old school coil machines. Basically, he was clever and he created a spring. He put like a hole on the core, on the nucleus of the coil machine, or the coil, and he put a spring inside. Basically, it's a very simple principle, and this spring keeps the amateur bar up. So he just cut off part of the old school machine, and the principle works perfect. I mean, I really love the machine. I really love what this. But for me, is still fair play one of the best machines ever made. Then, so that was the beginning of this more successful development in direction of hybrids till today. We had it back in the day. I remember. I used to be this kind of experimental crazy guy who I find something I was interesting on, and I would buy a whole thing, a whole bunch of it, and then try it, and then I didn't like it, I put it in a box, and I stay until someone likes it, and I just end up giving away whatever. And was a guy called Carson Hill, I guess, something like that. Carson Hill. It's a guy from America, very well known tattoo, a really nice work, a really beautiful, colorful biomechanic or bioorganic stuff, very nice stuff. And this dude created a pneumatic machine, which was like, unfortunately, I don't have any more that kind of thing to show you guys. But he created a very nice, interesting concept, which were a machine which runs on air, basically in like the same system as a pneumatic dentist tool. Was exactly the same concept, but inside the tattoo machine, and pretty worked. The only problem I found in that, like, was the air get moisted. Depends on the place where you're working, would be kind of hard to. You have to set up the compressor in the room, and normally compressors are very loud, very noisy, and very inconvenient, right? Especially if you work like 10 hours a day or however long you've been working in the same room. If you have a little bit in the background there, and then you have to put the sound loud, and you cannot talk to your client or whatever. So it becomes a little bit like a bit of mess. And if you set up outside the tattoo room, then you have to run pipes all over, and then you have this whole push-in pipes, which is, after a little while, with the heating of the room, cold of the room, the cells or the little rubbers start to kind of crack off, then it starts escaping air. It's become a little bit of funny process. And it was really fair play expensive at the time, so it was not something like you say like, okay, I'm gonna go bananas and buy it. You know, you would have to put like a bit of money. A compressor was expensive because you had to buy a specific one, which was like a dentist one, which was the silence one, was made already for a dental clinic and stuff. So that would be the best one you could get in the market, and in different sizes, different prices, obviously, and so on. So if you want one machine only, then you need to have a compressor which will run constantly, because you have to supply air on the machine all the time to work, or you have to have a big compressor who has a big tank, so then the compressor would switch on in a certain period of time. So it wasn't not so easy. So that guy was one of the pioneers who tried to reinvent tattoo concept, how to work and so on. As far as I can remember, that he was one of the first ones at the time, back in the 2000s, early 2000s. And I bought one of those, and obviously didn't work. Of course not. And I ended up I sold very cheap to friends, and I don't have idea. I have no idea where the process or the equipment ended up to. So then I went back to my coils, and I was in the coil world for pretty long years. On the beginning of my career, I had this first machine, which was pretty much like a piece of machine. It was not a machine, it was a piece of machine. So it was like two coils tied together. It was not welded, it was nothing. It was really like a really bad. We're talking about like in 1996, when everything was really hard to get. And the information was not out there. Tattoo machines was really not out there yet. It was a couple brands, a couple companies, let's put it like that, was making good machines back in US at the time. Was one here in Europe, which was Mick Sharps at the time, which was super well known. Which I have a pleasure to own few machines from them. Back in the day, the real old ones, the really old school ones, which are old and has glory, you know. But all these machines here, part of them have been pre-owned by people I know. Some of them they gave to me. It's like, hey, you collect them. Here we go. You can make them run again and keep them. Some of them I bought it from other tattooers, and some of them I just made for myself over the years. And I really enjoyed them all my period of time. So unfortunately now I don't have space and to display them, unfortunately. So I have in my big cases full of machines and a safe, because it's fair play with that. I love them. Maybe one day I have a space somewhere and I will display the whole wall full of my machines, my old school machines. So the idea today, the video is like basically share a little bit of the history of my collection, which is very, very funny machines. I have machines which is, I don't have an idea where really they come from. Some very cheesy old school ones, but I collect them. I love them. I don't know. I never use them, of course. They're not really machines I would use. Alchemia, this one is called. Possibly, I think Alchemia used to be or still is a tattoo supplier in America, in Italy, from Italy, I think. There's some dude who created their own machines, Chinese machines, possibly. And that's what I want to talk about. Like, guys, if you buy a machine, if you buy a tattoo machine, right, you can buy it from China. It's not a problem. It's just like plenty of machines, like this one here. They will work for a period of time, that's no doubt. They're made to do that, right? So they are just made of cheaper materials. So why is important a tattoo machine? Tattoo machine has to have a very good conductor of power. So what means with that? So like the core of the coil, which is not seen by us, but because they are inside, is a very important, powerful part of the machine. Because it works like it's like a relay. It works like this. Okay, when it's on and off. So if this conductor is a not such a good material, which is a cheap metal or cheap iron they use, obviously the conduction of the energy is not be good. So there is one part of it. Then you have the cable or the wire which goes on the coil, so it goes around like that. It's also another very important to have a specific thickness. So it's different numbers, obviously, and different amount of wiping around of the coil. That makes what the machine is made for. And the height of the machine, of course, that is more to reduce weight on the chassis, on the overall process, or the overall size of the machine. For if you work for a certain thing, you need a machine with a certain power, and so on and so on. Which nowadays on rotaries or pens, we don't have that. All that is just forgotten, and that just makes me extremely sad. And that's why I decided to make this video entirely based on machines, to keep the memory of them, to keep them alive. Because if you want to be a tattoo artist out there, I don't recommend to do at home. First of all, you should not do at home. But that is, if you do it, maybe watch the videos and rewatch the videos again, and maybe subscribe and follow the whole videos. You're gonna get some ideas from there. And don't forget these guys. Don't forget that these are the grandpas of tattooing. They become before me, before my friends and so on, and they are around for a very, very, very long time. So 70 years, I suppose, from the 50s, supposedly, something like that. And I have a friend of mine, he has machines, really old ones, even older, first ones. It's so beautiful. I would like to put my hands on them. But nowadays I don't collect them anymore. I mean, I collect them, but I don't buy them anymore, like very, very casually. So the video for today is more like to show you the machine itself, for you to have a bit of the history as I'm telling you. The materials are very important. So if you buy a Chinese machine, we'll do the job as far as you can adjust the machine right. If you learn how to do that, I mean, it's certain little tricks and bits you have to learn to do that to get the machine to run as you want. Because if you're gonna tattoo a person, right, or arrange, let's say like just arrange, like, you know, and you're gonna make a drawing. If you don't have the machine with the right power, if it's overpowered, you're gonna cut straight off. Boom, you're gonna make a big cut. If you don't have enough power in the machine, what's gonna happen? It's not gonna go in. So literally it will just goes like a poking on a piece of wood. And so, and turns up with the power supply, which is this little guy here, which is one of my power supplies, super old one now. This guy is a super important part of it as well. If you don't have a good one, means you don't gonna give your power supply the same as a good food. It's like the same if you go on a good restaurant or on a lower budget restaurant, right? The quality of the food is not the same, obviously, because the place runs in the same different way. Power supply is exactly the same. Power supply is a big important part of your starting of your tattooing, right? So if you have, let's say, I don't remember how much something like this costs. Now they have the new version of these power supplies, but the criticals, I think, cost at the time when I bought that was about around 250 or 200 or 320 euros at the time. Now, obviously, they are not made this way. They have a new version of them, which is obviously better. They have more things inside. Now you can get even machines running without any kind of things here, which I know a friend of mine does. he's crazy about that. And so what I mean with the power is basically, from the socket wall till here, is the power will be always the same as anywhere else in the planet. So it's different voltages, but still the same. Clean or dirty will be exactly the same. We come to here. This little guy here, or maybe the K was a little amplifier or how you call that, transformer, is out like a computer, like a laptop, like I think Windows or this Windows computer laptops. They have this little box before the computer. This guy has the same, which is get from wherever you can, from wherever in the world you are, like the power until there will be whatever 120 or 240, whatever. And then from there we'll transform into 12 volts into here, and this guy here will command that as you wish to send to your machine. And sounds everything the same. I mean, I'm not a technician, right? So don't take me that. I mean, like I know punks about it so much, but I know as far as get to this guy here, and this guy should supply the power into your machine clean, so no oscillation. So the power should not be like a, it should be always like a steady. And that is a lot to do with this. One of the big parts of it is this guy, this little square guy here, which is, sorry, I have too many machines around here. Sorry about that. So this little guy here is a very important part. So today is not about cleaning, it's not about hygiene, it's not about how you should clean your workstation or whatsoever. It's about only technical machine things. Here I have my clip code. Basically is a RCA cable, which is this guy, because I'm using rotaries. Rotaries don't have clip cords, because it's a super old school thing. I love clip cords. I would make a t-shirt. I love clip cords. Clip cords have been around since 50s, pretty much. It's been there for a long time. I remember one was one of the first things I tried to buy when I was young. It was so hard to get them. It was so hard to get to those things. And it was a very emotional moment for me when I have a clip cord first time. So, and then this is also very important to kind of bend, so they blend together with your power supply into your machine. So when that touches your machine, it basically should have enough tension. Tension is a very important thing on a clip cord. So don't buy this cheap little, how you call them, this little spiral thing, like a little, look like a notebook spiral, which holds between them both contacts. Try to buy something which has like a tension, which means that it will clip on a machine. That's why I call clip cords, and tension on the machine, so the machine is always tense. And then select your volt. Oh, you saw that? This is what happening when the machine is not well maintained. My fault, my bad. Well, I have a kind of excuse for that. I don't use this machine for like over 3 years. I don't touch her. So she is actually out of date. So should change that. Possibly I will do a video just to change this specific little tap. What happened was the spring. Spring shut off straight out there. Today I don't have the tools here. I don't have the materials, the box with the spare parts for coils, because as I said, I don't use coils anymore. So that was something which I didn't expect to happen. So this was an accident, by the way. So I will make a video on that. Let me see which machine I would like to run. Let me see if I could, how this baby runs. This machine here I bought in 2011 and a to-do convention in Rome. And it was in Rome. It was in Rome 2011 convention there. And I bought this machine here. This was a guy called Argentinian guy. I don't remember his name now. Let me see if he says something here. There's a Caldenti. Don't remember his name. But so is it? This Argentinian guy. Oh, okay, you're right. So she normally runs on 6, between 6 and 7, 6, 5. So basically, this is a liner. That's why she has this very, very high, loud sound, like a bee, like a bee. That is because this very distinctive. Man, I can explain. I can talk hours about this machine technician stuff. So the condenser, which is this capacitor here, is anyone who understands a bit about electronics. This knows what it does. He knows a tattoo machine. Will know the concept of a tattoo machine. This guy here, what does is there's like a filter. Apart from this guy, when it comes here, filters the power to the point that sends to this guy here. So the smaller the capacitor is, the more powerful, the more loud, the more faster the machine is. The bigger is the capacitor. I don't remember exactly how it calls these little things there. This is the numbers there. The higher it is, the more, the slower the machine is, and the more powerful machine is. Like in a very softer way, but it's still very, very powerful. You can put more needles and make it like shadings. So I will run this machine again, and I will pick up another machine which is to do coil, to do shading, or then you can distinguish the difference between them both. Good thing about coil machines is that you don't have normally positive and negative in them. They work both ways. Some of them people do that, but I don't believe that. So it's here. This is a 5-liner machine. So this is a 5-liner, which is was for many years one of my favorite machines. Then here is another machine which was one of my favorites and still is one of my favorites. It's called Juan Pontes. This dude does old school, a beautiful work. And this machine here is from 2010. And it's only 5 of them made, so it's only another 4. But this is the number 4, I think. There's the number 4 of them, which I wanted the number 3, but I could not find the number 3, so I got 4. And there's another 4 of them on them somewhere. So I know one guy who has 1 of them. I don't remember which number he has, but he has exactly the same, the sister of that. I think you can distinguish it's the same voltage. You see the problem of the trick part? Because this machine's been used a lot. So here is a little bit like the metal with metal start to kind of make a little house, and this is a little the issue there. I could change that if I wanted, but to be honest with you, no. Why? This is original like that. It stays like that, and it's definitely one of my favorite machines, Juan Pontes. So this was my shader only. I was putting big groups of needles, like a 23, 27 there, and it works great. So that's in that you see you can distinguish the difference between them on the sound and the way it works. Then here I have a liner, let's say another liner, so above the liner. So let me see which one would be the machine I would choose for this. Obviously my Cello Jerry one, which is from a company in America. yeah, surgery based sold Captain blah 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 from Lux Supply. So not a very well known company, sell nice stuff. This machine is the same voltage, but she runs a little higher with groups of big groups of liner. So again, a different setup, different machine, and different sort of work you do with that. This machine is definitely also one of my favorites. I love this machine. It's really. Certain machines here I will never sell them. That's those ones I showed now. It's definitely machines I will never consider to sell. I could go so much. So many machines, so many names, so many amazing machine builders here in this collection. Back in the day, I used to, as I was a very faithful collector, so I was always after very renamed people, names, machines, and so on. Some of them already passed away, unfortunately, and some of them still are building machines. But I have the old school of them. Like I have this very beautiful, I don't care in here. Ceci Ferry, sorry. This is a Ceci Ferry from 2009. I bought this in London many years ago as well. It's already have the same problem with the other ones. Also very yeah, great machine. Love that. Love the sound of this one. So then here I have a very another one from can hear the difference. Great stuff. So this machine here is actually was from a friend of mine. She used for many years as herself, and then when she got tired of the machine, she bought another ones and she ended up giving it to me. For me, it was benefit. So basically, back into the hybrid machines, back into the I could go nostalgic about the machine, so I just jump that point. This is the first really, like in my opinion, one of the first. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am, but the thing is, like I think, by my knowledge, must be another builders out there which also was very successful into create a transition between coil to rotaries and so on. Pardon me, but I don't know them, and I don't gonna say they're not good or bad because I can't. I don't have a knowledge on that. I just have a knowledge in the things I have, the things I come across in the years, things I owned or don't, and so on and so on. And this is one of the famous ones. I mean, Dan Goodwin, he made it the coil one first, then Das is come after. So he has many other different now on the market. He have a few different machines right now, but I stopped to buy them. They're a bit expensive, and a few other reasons why I don't buy his machines anymore. But one of the main reasons was it's very expensive, and a couple more reasons which made me really pull me off to buy his machines. And then I come across the pen, and I really fall in love with the pen, and then stay with the pen because it's more practical in the sense of working. We can work faster, hygienically perfect, and everything. The pen makes a lot of big difference, but when it comes down to beauty and let's say style and so on, this is way far better than anything else. So this guy created a very nice machine, which is this beautiful. Yeah, it runs in 7. It never really runs 100%, at least not with me. It's the first generation. That's the right word. First generation of these hybrid machines. He built it. He called side winders, which side winders because has the engines, the motor is in the side, and he created a system inside which works like a coil machine. So it has a diameter bar there, sounds like a coil even if here you cannot see it, but inside is a spring which touches the little rotor, and I was making the sound, which is like when it came out, was every tattoo artist was kind of in love with this thing, and still are. People out there love them. I see many tattoos still working with the generation 5 and 6 of them. I think I bought until the 5 and then I dropped it. So this is the generation number 1, and I believe is a 2014 one. From January 2014, this is the machine first. I think if I don't want to be cocky and lie, but I think this is the first machine. The first, is for sure, maybe the first or second year of these machines ever be built, and the first, maybe the first punches of them. So this is the one. Then I have still, actually still even set up here. I have still this very nice. This is from 2017, I think, or 18 even. Machines from the same guy, Dan Gobin, which he did a great job, though. I must say, these machines have a difference on the positive and negative. Reason why? So if you sit, I don't remember now because, as I said, I don't use them anymore. So for me, it's like I think the positive should be in the bottom. Yeah, it says here actually. I have this. As I don't use them anymore, I just end up losing the touch with them. So I don't have more connection, unfortunately, with these machines anymore, which is shame. So here, this machine is super nice. Look, it has a little butterfly on top of it. This butterfly is actually a very funny thing. It was my daughter put in there a few years back, and I stick in there. She put in there. I don't know what she was doing there. She just stick in there, and I really love it, and I keep it. So it's a beautiful little memory for me. So here we go. I think this machine runs in 6, 7 will be too high. Oh no, actually 6.5. Yeah. Then this machine here, you can actually do everything you want. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, it's a little beast. Yeah, that is a very successful hybrid that the guys made. So, and then from there we go into the direction of this direction to the pens. And this is a machine which is very funny. A guy from Russia made. I put the hands on a friend of mine. He had this machine, and when I saw it, I was really amused about it. Like wow, the guy created a copy of Dango Bean, which at the time for me was my first thought. But actually, it's not copy at all. The principle is based on the same idea, but it's not. It's a different concept only. And honestly, it really works. It's really steady. It has his touch. You need a bit of time to get used to this machine, I suppose. I did a few bit work with that, but I never was really, because I had so many other machines around. So you don't need really to stick with something until you get used to it if you don't have to, right? And I didn't have to, so then. But it's brand new actually. I used maybe for a few hours. And maybe not even 100 hours. So, but it's a nice machine. It's nice to keep it. It's nice to have it. I changed a couple parts. I can see this is from Workhorse, I think. So I changed this. Definitely changed this part here. It's not original. But yeah, I always do that. I always do those kind of things on my machines. Keep change parts like a boy changing things around. Well, yeah, guys, for today I would be say yes. This is all of it. Oh, sorry, that was almost an accent here. I wish I had one more machine, which is a very nice Drexler. This guy make very good machines. It's, in my opinion, one of the best machines ever made. I really like it. I really ran after this machine for a few years. I really did. It was not easy to get my hands on them. It was really hard because the guy is still building them, but for some reason he's not in the market. Nobody has, or who have it, don't sell them. It's just like something just nobody put out there. It's really like a unicorn. And he stopped to make them for many years for some reasons. I don't remember the issues what they had, and they become increasingly hard to put your hands on. And I managed to put my hands in some. I think I have 3 of them. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, another one here. So yeah, these three beauties here are from the same guy. And yeah, Drexler here. This is from 2006. 2006. This baby here is 2008. And this baby here is the same age, 2008. me it sounds like the orchestra for me. I love it. Yeah, so this guy is one of famous and one of the best builders I ever, in my opinion. He does very good machines. See the touches, the details. It's a great machine. And this guy here, the number 40, number 40. This was from a friend of mine. I don't know how she even sold that to me. Ah man, she made my day when she told me you can have it. I was like, wow, really? Thanks to Lucy, she's great. Great, guys. So I wish you guys a good time, good rest of your week, wherever you are and wherever in the planet you are. If you like the video, just say a thumbs up, and if you have some questions, will be more videos on machines about how to build the machines, how to put apart the machines, what I recommend. I would say I wouldn't do it, and what I would do it, what I would use for. If you have questions, what to do with a machine, whatever, just write down below. Feel free to ask questions as well, and subscribe if you like it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.